Hey, Pastor Dan here from Dexter Gospel Church. Welcome to our ninth installment of Proverbs Practicals. In our last episode, we saw that handling the mistakes of others wisely is a huge factor in building and keeping relationships. This time, the observation brings us to question and evaluate just how wise we ourselves are. We're in Proverbs 17:10. Proverbs 17:10 says, "A reproof entereth more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool." The simple statement that he's doing something wrong, not doing something right, or not doing something as well as it could be done really sinks into a wise person. In contrast, you can beat a fool until your arm falls off and the lesson just doesn't seem to get through. So, one of the measurements of wisdom is what it takes to change us. Now, this doesn't mean we're blown all over the place by the opinions of others. The New Testament talks about us being grounded and steadfast and sure not blown about by every wind of doctrine and the sleight of man. But this does mean that we are quick to listen to critique and to make changes based on it. What it means is that we are not stubborn. Throughout the scriptures, stubbornness is not a positive quality. In fact, Samuel told Saul in 1 Samuel 15:23 that stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Stubbornness places our will and our opinions above everyone else's and most dangerously above God's. It makes a god out of our own desires, intentions, and opinions. It makes an idol out of our own mind, our own preferences, and our own will. The fool here can't conceive of there being legitimately another way to think than his. And it doesn't matter what happens to him or what fruit he reaps from the things he's sown, he's just not going to change. This stubbornness is different than steadfastness or faithfulness. Those, once you know that something's right, you won't be turned from it. The steadfast or the faithful person is more committed to what is right than to their own will or desires or comfort or circumstances. But the stubborn person, while they may call it steadfastness or faithfulness, they're actually committed to what they've always done or what they think or what they want. Rather than submitting their will to what is right, they demand that everything else be submitted to their will. The difference is shown in how readily we listen to and receive what others have to say, how willing we are to evaluate our beliefs and actions and thinking based on the things they have to say. So, what does it take to change you? We'd all admit we're not perfect, at least I hope we would. So, what does it take to make us recognize one of those imperfections and act to change it? If it takes being beaten over the head before we'll change anything, well, you might not be so wise. If it only takes someone telling you that you're wrong and giving an explanation from scripture or facts or sound reason, well, then you're in a much better place. Now, of course, most people will say, oh, all you have to do is show me how I'm wrong and I'll change. But if you haven't heard a good explanation in years, then maybe the problem isn't with the explanations, and maybe you're not as wise as you think you are. Let's be easy to correct. Others can often see our situations and behaviors with even more clarity than we can. Scripture speaks with absolute clarity and reliability. So let's not be so proud and stubborn that we can't be changed for the better. Thanks for taking time for this video. As usual, feel free to leave any comments or questions and I'll try to interact with them. Tomorrow we're hopefully going to put one live at 6:45, another at 7, and another at 7:15, each with some time for some live chat in those videos so you can converse about the passage we're going through or leave us prayer requests and things like that. I hope this has been a blessing to you, and until next time, I hope you stay well and walk in the light of God.